Yeah, well, first of all, my hat's got to go off to Tom Gores. He talks about being impactful in the community and not just having basketball and all of the different programs through our community relations department with Erica and Chris and things that we do out in the community he put together. And I think that's extremely important. The hiring of the wing, Casey bringing them in, surrounding himself by people like yourself, all that's extremely impactful, not only to the basketball team, but to the community.
And a lot of times you hear the conversation of staying socially distant. But Dr. Yeager, we've had these conversations about being physically distant for safety, but socially we want to remain connected. And in terms of mental wellness, I think being in spaces, and for me, having a nonprofit organization that hosts a lot of mental wellness conversations, creating safe spaces for my day-to-day work with players to speak on things that they may be suffering or dealing with, and being able to be a part of an organization where from the top, with ownership and Tom Gores, with Coach Casey, and all the way down, there's a very intentional emphasis on the well-being of our players. The impact and the importance of the well-being of players kind of allows me as a coach to be even more comfortable engaging with these type of conversations inside of work and outside. And the more we can normalize this conversation, the better.
Dude, we're in some scary times right now in terms of all the things that anxiety can bring, because there's a lot of things to worry about, especially in some of the households. Everybody don't have everything, good families and good places to go to. Going home could be a problem for a lot of kids, even before this all happened to us in the situation that we're in right now. Domestic violence is on an uprise right now. It's a lot of different things happening in households with kids, and 6 and 7 kids and not enough food, don't have the money to pay the bills with. That just brings on more problems and more stress right now.
I know specifically some of my work in my dissertation, my doctorate was looking within the African American community, trying to figure out, as a therapist, why do we not seek therapy at the rate that other communities do? And I continued to hear kind of that same drumbeat of, that's just not for us, that we don't need that. So in the homes and communities, we're telling each other we don't need to do that. So go ahead, Catherine.
Yeah, we tend to think that people think of it as a human failing. It's not a human failing.
Yes.
It's just being human. I think the best way to think about mental illness is it's not any different than any other type of illness. So we don't tend to ostracize or make fun of people or refuse to help people that have heart disease or diabetes, whether we talk about depression, anxiety, other things. We know now that these are brain diseases, that stress can certainly affect it. We know that if people don't, and maybe one thing we didn't emphasize enough is that mental illness is treatable. People get better. And usually the obstacle to that happening is basically they don't ask for help, or that the people around them don't encourage them. So the more we can do that, the more we can actually eliminate mental illness.
One of the things I've learned is every day to remind myself what I should be grateful for, because I think being grateful gives you hope, and I think that is one exercise that we could all learn from. And so if I could add one thing that has helped me is to remind myself, even in difficult times, what I should be grateful for.